on the road, headed to Missouri. Haven't been hunting since December 1st. So we did a few hunts in Texas and then just had a busy December family-wise. A lot of life events have happened and Christmas, so it's been nice spending some time with the family, but we're gone for our last hoorah of the year. I'm gonna be gone for 10 days and try to get something done with the muzzleloader for the first time ever. Missouri's kicked my ass the last 4 times I've been out there, so this will be hopefully a little bit of an equalizer for me out there. We're gonna go probably stop by the range and shoot 1 or 2 and make sure everything's on. And then after that, we're gonna be officially on the road. We got about 12 hours of driving to do. We're gonna stop at the Sitka store and get a few things in Dallas, and then all day drive. Alex is meeting me out there tomorrow and he'll set up camp, so for tonight I'm just sleeping in my back seat. Well, we're hunting. So far the wind is very swirly down here in this bottom. I think it might be because we're still kind of by the road, that it's just coming off out of the road and pulling in here the opposite way it's supposed to. Well, we've been sneaking up here through this swamp bottom. We've been coming up through this marsh and there's a lot of fresh tracks. It rained all day yesterday and it's covered up with tracks, and I pop up here to look out onto the ridge system and into these 2 bottoms at the base of it, and there's a fresh scrape that's been hit since the rain. So we can see a really long ways. We may end up holding up here at least for about an hour and then kind of start scooting up. But that scrape was hit sometime since yesterday. So I don't know what's going on. It looks really good in here and I haven't seen any human sign. So I like what I see. And now there's 2 guys walking the base of the ridge. So we're just gonna haul ass back to this bean field, I guess. Maybe see what they do. This isn't a very big place. I mean, there's 2 guys there with me here. I mean, and there's not, it doesn't hunt very big, but I'm gonna try to get ahead of them in case they start pushing deer to the back of this place, because they're just walking like me. So let's get on the road. Well, we're set up on the corner of this bean field in public. In front of me is all the timber, and then back here behind me is a bunch of just CRP type bedding, I think. There's a bunch of trails that go from all this back here into the timber, and it looks like there's some sort of green in this cut bean field. I don't know if they went back through it with wheat or if it's just regrowth, but there's some sort of green in there, and there's some tracks that come down this little road right here through this corner into the bean field. So I don't know where those other 2 guys went. They're somewhere up on the ridges, I think, but hopefully we're far enough away from each other and they're not shooting towards me. So gonna be it for the first evening. So we're gonna get back to the truck and make a game plan for the morning. Get some dinner, catch up on some sleep. See y'all tomorrow. Well, it's day 2, 30 degrees. I'm gonna go try to find one this morning. Headed into a spot kind of blindly. It's just a small south-facing slope. Onyx says there's wheat up top. There's some sort of hayfield to the east. So hopefully they come back into this bottom or this south-facing slope and bed in there for the day. So wind's out of the west-northwest. We're gonna sit on the bottom of that ridge, kind of looking up and see if we can catch them coming down. It's real small, so it's not gonna be they'll just drop over the top and come down, I think. But new property, we'll see. We're gonna meet Alex camp probably around noon. So we're gonna see what we get into until then. We're kind of staged right now, overlooking this creek. It is extremely thick in here. I don't think I'll have a whole lot of shooting lanes, but maybe we can at least get eyes on something. Once the sun comes up, we're gonna kind of slip our way up this creek a little bit and see what we can find. Pretty good sign here. It's just a creek crossing, but it looks like it's been hit pretty heavily. There are a few buck tracks mixed in with it, and it looks like they're going from private out to public. So it may be a pretty good evening spot. I'm not quite sure about morning, but it's definitely a start. Alright, we made it to the main place that I've been wanting to hunt. Drove all the way around it. There's some cut ag, but the main bean field that I think a lot of these deer are going to be going to has a tower blind on it. So hopefully he left something standing. So we got a west wind. I'm going to get downwind of a main drainage that goes from the public to the bean field and just overlook it tonight and see if I catch anything going from bed to feed. So we got a decent little walk, and we're gonna see what happens. Well, it's a lot flatter here than I thought it was gonna be, which makes getting on a high point kind of hard. This is your bean field, and this is the drainage. I think they're gonna walk to get to it. Right here, it's 160 yards to the trees, but I can see everything. Or I might get to this little clump of trees right here, but I'll be more at eye level with them, so I'm not quite sure how that'll work. But I could go a long ways away from the bean field, but I feel like I miss anything that's bedded closer. So I think we're going to tuck in right here. We're going to have to stand up. If I sit down, I'm not going to see anything. So we're going to figure out where we want to tuck in and see what happens for the rest of the evening. Up to a different clump of brush. I can't call it trees. About 100 yards from where we went that first time and found all that deer sign. I don't necessarily have a shot to that set of trees, but I've got a shot to where I think they go getting to those. And then it's 150 to the creek that leads to the beans. So, and even where I picked to sit, there's a little bit of fresh poop here. Not like there was over there, but I guess hopefully tonight we can find out kind of how these deer use this terrain. It's going to be real tough. There's a fence in front of me, and most of the times that fence is gone. You can't even see it. The grass is just too tall. So getting a shot may be difficult, and even seeing them, if they have their head down, you're not going to see them. But we're tucked in, and we got about 4 hours for legal in, so just got up and rebedded right at about 150 yards from me in this bottom. So that's pretty good. I didn't see any other with her, but I mean, as soon as she bedded down, if I hadn't been watching her, she would have just disappeared. So there's no telling how many deer are down in there right now. The good news is that means I didn't bust anything getting in here. So I've got a pretty good wind, about 15 miles an hour, so that helps out a lot. But I will definitely shoot a doe tonight if given the opportunity. That deer was actually a spike, and it just got up out of its bed and worked towards the bean field. So it's 4:20 right now. Legal's at 5:30, so they should start getting on their feet. Hopefully they don't do what he did, because I'll never get a shot. It kind of sucks because I'm looking directly into the sun, so it's hard to film and even look through my scope. That sun just whites everything out. So hopefully we'll get some good movement once that sun goes over the horizon. Another little buck on the opposite side of this ditch, probably at about 300 yards right now. He keeps looking back behind him like something's with him. There's two of them. They keep looking up the hill behind them, but I can't see what they're looking at. Soap. That poor buck just got violated. I guess there's a lack of does. Alright, well that's gonna end legal. I think we end up seeing like 15 deer. All does and little bucks, nothing closer than 150 yards. Most of them were 400 plus. And there's only 6 or 7 in the bean field. A majority of them never got there from what I can see. But I think the next move will be one ridge over pretty much where I saw all the deer today. So nothing big, but we're seeing some deer. Just gotta start building on it. So we're gonna try to sneak out of here. With minimal damage. Pretty much everything that's out right now will be able to see us. So we're gonna pack up and get out of here. Go back to camp.
I'm excited. I always love the little dessert hunts as I call them here at the end of the year.
Dessert hunts?
Like the antlerless seasons, late muzzleloader season, just a little dessert hunt.
Just a little cherry on top.
Just a little dessert. You already know I'm a big treat guy.
Yeah.
I'm a big sweet guy, so give me a little treat here at the end of the season. Give me a little diddle. Those fingers are thick.
Yeah, they are.
They got oak scrub and that thorn brush on them.
Yeah.
Not really.
No. Not what you thought it would be.
Well, it looks thick. It looks nice down in there. It's just a matter of, once I get in there, what I see. A little more structure to the cover, besides just being like...
Being scattered.
Well, just, once you get down in there, it's kind of like bland.
Like the same thing?
Yeah, it's just kind of just scrubby and...
Like,
But up in the fingers, that's good stuff. I still think they'll be up in there. It hasn't, they're not going to be feeding on that for long. Because you look down, you see the green in there. That's probably all that new growth. Because it's still warm. I mean, it's been, hell, it's probably 50 something here the other day. The grass is still growing. I bet that's what they're nipping out of all the low spots.
I'm sure they move a good ways out here.
So I'm hoping they're like, I mean, I can see that bean field from here.
Yeah.
I don't think that's anything for a deer to come out of these and go right over there.
No.
Especially with the south one they've had this morning. They may switch beds this afternoon, but there was a buck that wants to sniff that field. They'd be on the right side with this wind.
Alright. Good luck.
See ya.
If I hear you shoot, I better get a text. Alright. We're going back into the same spot I was yesterday. I'm going to move around to the opposite ridge into that tall stuff where that little buck ended up working his way to, but it'll put me at about anywhere from 50 to 150 within where I saw all those deer pop out. Realistically, I'm thinking I should be within 100 yards. So we have really good wind. Once I get in there, we're just gonna move real slow. They didn't start moving until about 4 o'clock. And it's 2 right now, so we've got about 2 hours to get in there quiet and get set up before we have to worry about anything getting out of their bed. So probably have a 3/4 mile walk. So we got to make it past this house's guard dog first and have him not start barking and chase me. So hopefully we get past him. That's objective number 1. All right, well, we made it past Princess, the giant German shepherd that sits on these people's porch on the corner of this public land. So step 1's complete. Now we just gotta get in without busting anything out. And if we do bust anything out, we're just gonna go over the next ridge into the next drainage and set up there. So not a whole lot of pressure. Like Alex said, this is just kind of the cherry on top of a good season, so we're not gonna sweat it too much. We're just gonna have fun. So we're on our way. So we're crawling the rest of this way over this ridge, and there's a little pin right here. That's our first point we're gonna try to get to. Both those little bucks yesterday got pretty close to it. I'm not exactly sure how close, but we're gonna get there and start ranging a bunch of stuff. And if there's a lot of stuff within 100 or 150 that I saw deer yesterday, it's probably where we're gonna end up sitting. But we got about another 20 yards to crawl. There's trails everywhere up here coming to the beans. So, and I haven't jumped anything out of its bed that I've seen. So we're just gonna keep crawling and take our time and get up there and see what it looks like. Well, we ended up getting set up in front of all this real brushy stuff. Hopefully we're tucked away enough. Where they popped out yesterday is right at about 150 yards, and this is ourselves a chance. Three does right here. 3 does. Though went right over the hill where she went and stopped and stood there, and they were looking at something. So maybe they were staring at her. I don't know. We're gonna wait till dark and then we'll go out that way and see what we can find. But I'll be loaded, so we're gonna sit tight. We still have an hour before legal, so maybe something else will come do the same thing. The plan worked, though. I mean, that's really all you can ask for. I found this spot and glassed these deer yesterday, and I formulated the plan to come kill them today. And I got a shot, so that's a confidence boost. Not necessarily for my shooting. Oh, there's another deer right here. I'm gonna see if this one gets closer. Other does ran. I wonder how she'll react when she gets up there. If she stands there and stares at the same spot, then I may have actually hit the other one. These deer seem like they're really starting to move. It's 4:45 and I've seen 6 doe already. There's 2 more out here that look like they're gonna do what I needed them to last night. They look like they're gonna walk the edge of the creek. This place is loaded with deer. It's just kind of hard to hunt. That back one's got a really pretty coat on her. I knew this was going to be my problem. I was going to be about that far off. But this was the last good cover before I would just be in the creek, and I didn't want to do that right now. But tomorrow evening we might. Well, I didn't get it on video, but I missed the second time too. And those does decided to taunt me and just kind of stand there. So I don't know what's going on. Might try to find a range tomorrow and shoot and make sure everything's on after traveling. So, because both shots I felt rock solid and I felt like I made a good shot. So we're gonna go look for blood anyways, make sure I didn't drop one, because it's hard to, it's hard to see anything for a few seconds afterwards. So we're gonna take a look though. Well, back to the truck, we ended up missing those two does at 130. So it very well could have been me, but we're gonna go shoot the muzzleloader tomorrow and just make sure everything's on, because I'm not quite sure what happened. I felt good, felt steady, but it happens. We had deer in range and we saw a decent amount of them tonight again. So we're gonna keep grinding away at it and maybe something will give here soon. So thank y'all for watching. Like, subscribe, and see you on the next video.